I think the American people, and I consider myself pro-life, I believe in the sanctity of life, but I think politically that Republicans have got to say, as Bill Clinton once said, I never thought I'd quote him, rare, legal, and I'd add the word very early in a pregnancy. That seems to be politically where the country is. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. That vote in Ohio is pretty sobering.
I mean, David Jolly, just sort of to make sure that we don't think all the Fox News hosts are saying that his colleague Laura Ingraham called overturning Roe versus Wade the greatest achievement since ending the Cold War. Yeah. Why can't Republicans figure out a cohesive, coherent message on this? Why are they trying to send their base in the direction of a national ban?
Because I think they're following their passions and they're not looking dispassionately at the data. And I think what you heard from Sean Hannity there is a reflection of where the national data overwhelmingly is time and time again coming out of Dobbs. When we see state-level referendums that started with Kansas right after the Dobbs decision and then the Ohio measure this past week, when you look at some special elections where the issue of a woman's choice is actually put up in front of voters time and time again in a post-Dobbs environment, voters continue to reject the Republican position. And I think what is interesting, Sean Hannity quoted Bill Clinton. He could actually quote a Republican. I know progressives had a lot of heartburn over George Bush, but when Bush 43 was asked about this in 2000, he said, listen, I think the way to approach this is by changing hearts and minds. And I suppose that could be true for either side of this debate. But what George Bush 43 recognized is politically, many of the hardened positions of the Republican Party are out of step with where general election voters are. So this is a deeply passionate issue for so many people. But all you have to do is dispassionately look at the data, and it tells you the American people prefer a Roe framework over a Dobbs framework, and Republicans keep falling on their faces trying to go the other direction.
Rev, just last week when I interviewed Julie Chavez Rodriguez, the campaign manager for the Biden-Harris reelect, we talked about the role that Vice President Harris is likely to play in this reelect, specifically on questions like reproductive rights and freedoms. And I wonder, as you sat with her, as you spoke with her, if you got a sense of the role that she is going to play and also what she sees as what it is that she can bring to this ticket. Did you get a sense, as we learned from this political reporting, the Democrats actually believe the field is widening?
I think that she plays a vital role. One, I think that she in and of herself embodies what many people are trying to push as the issue. She is a woman when she talks about women's right to choose. She is one that has been a prosecutor. We talk about gun control, and we talk about the fact that we can't even get a background check passed through this Congress. She is black when we talk about the inequality. We talk about hate crimes of blacks and Jews and others. She has fought with and built coalitions. So she is one of the best, if not the best representatives of this administration, and can break down with inflation reduction bills and with the COVID-19 recovery and with the infrastructure bill meant for communities that have been neglected, because she represents them. And I think she's determined to do it. I mean, I saw her yesterday more energetic and focused and determined than ever. And I think a lot of it is because a lot of what, when you watch the full interview, she brought me in a private office where she never allowed cameras. She showed me a picture of her mother who marched in '63 around the racial strife in Birmingham, Alabama. And a lot of this is she's seeing the same rights that a mother fought for are at risk today. We're under attack. The Supreme Court just ended affirmative action. You have people going after groups like the Fearless Fund in Atlanta for getting funding for young black women. She sees a lot of what all of us have spent our lifetime fighting to maintain being taken away. And I think that she's going to, you'll see in the interview, say, it's not going to happen on my watch.
Donna, do you think Republicans are still underestimating just how angry voters are about having their rights taken away? Or are they very much aware, and is that part of the reason why instead of actually just trying to win with the rules in place, they're trying to change the rules?
Yeah, look, I actually don't think that Republicans quite understand how motivating an issue this is, and that the passion that voters have. Keep in mind that the majority of Americans actually grew up under Roe. they didn't know any different. And so when Republicans go down this path, maybe playing to their base, they greatly underestimate the power of the issue as a single issue, motivating voters. And so, you just have to look at these elections. When I saw in Wisconsin of a Supreme Court race where nothing else was on the ballot, and lines of young people waiting to vote because they were voting on abortion rights. When you see that happening, you saw it happening in Kansas. You look at what happened in Ohio, where voters were very smart and savvy about what was underlying that amendment. And so going into November 2024, I think that President Biden is right to lean into this, to be the defender of women's rights and the protector of rights. And that also then allows him a window to talk about his economic agenda.